Hello everybody, this is a different kind of a view, a different setting, I should say. Not really, because it's pretty much the exact same spot. I just, decided to sit in a different portion of my room. But, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy in North America. Happy birthday to you. Yes, it has been a year since this game. It is hard for me to believe because I remember when they first announced it for like Japan, back when they announced the second trilogy. I was like, hey, yeah, hopefully they'll announce a third trilogy before the second one's over because I don't see the series going anywhere anytime soon. I was a young, ignorant fool. You know, before Professor Layton 7, but we're not going to talk about that. Professor Layton 7, what? That doesn't exist. This game means a lot to me, because this was the first time that as I've mentioned in my Remembering 2014 video, this is going to be a more in-depth video over this game. When they first announced this game to be coming to America back in November 2013, and they announced the release date and everything, that was the day that I started the countdown. I had a countdown, I was consistent with it, I didn't miss a day. I remember when I first got to school, every morning I go, hey everybody, there's this many days until Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, and I even did that like everywhere. I did it on Twitter and to everyone. They couldn't escape this, and people started getting really annoyed with me, and they were like, hey Michael, please shut up, but I didn't. Then for a few months, it went by, I was just doing my normal countdown, nothing really special happened. They had a few puzzles on their website. They were like, hey, can you do these puzzles? Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, can you do the final mission, the final chapter of the saga? Yeah. I was there the whole time. I've been there since Professor Layton, Curious Village, back when it came out. This is the series that I've stuck with. Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy then came out on February 28th, and I remember going to school that morning, and I was just like, okay, today's the day, today's the day, today's the day, and everyone was like, hey Michael, today's the day, I'm going to spoil it for you by the end of the day, because you annoyed me so much. And I remember that actually scared me. I was so scared that they were going to do it, that I physically ran away. Like, this wasn't PE, we were just out in the middle of the hallway, and this person goes, hey Michael, at the end of Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, I was like, oh, get away! So I just bolted away, and then everyone was like, nerd. And then after school ended, I remember going to my school's cafe and ordering some tea, which is like, this was the first time that I actually did it, like, legitimately. I ordered some, like, English tea or whatever. I can't remember the proper name. It was like English gentleman tea or whatever. You know, that's why I ordered it, because it's the English gentleman. And then I remember going to GameStop. Like, we drove to GameStop, and I remember going into the store, going to the 3DS section, and the only Professor Layton game they had was Miracle Mask. And I was just like, no, okay, I'm just gonna go to the guy. Maybe they probably don't have it out on front because it's a new game, and that's just what they do. So I went to the guy, and I was like, hey, do you have a copy of Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy? And then he, like, went on the computer. We have one copy left. Yeah, do you want it? Well, of course, sir, I want it. I haven't only been waiting for this game for years. This isn't the game that I'm most excited for of 2014, even above Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Bros. And everything else. This is the game. I want it. A little. So he just gave it to me. And then, it was the last copy in the store. This is the last copy in the store. This is the last copy in the store. I don't think I can emphasize that. Copy of the store. And I remember going home and just kind of staring at it, because I was like, I don't know if I want to start it, because I am so excited and I don't want it to end. But then, like, after about an hour of, like, debating in myself whether to do it or not, and then doing my high school vlog about it, I started it, and I was trapped. I could not play the game. This was the first time that I never got bored of a game. Like, usually I get bored of a game after like a couple hours, and I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna take a break. I did not get bored of this game. I played it. I practically played it in one sitting, other than the occasion my parents and I went out to go get dinner, so I couldn't play it, but if I could, I would have. Then, like, all that night, I was just, you know, playing it. I was so excited about it, and the Professor Layton games are always like, I always beat them really fast because of how short they are and how I get into them, you know? But this is like, this is the new record. I think the last record was like Diabolical Box, which took me a few days. It was like 3 or 4 days, but this one I did it in a day. I got it on Friday and I finished it Saturday night. But I remember like just playing through the game, and every time I was at a different like location, because there's this part in the game where you have to go, hey, we have to go travel around the world to find the eggs, and it makes sense in context. So there was like this island level, and I remember like my mom just like walked in and she gave me like a box of Reese's, and she was like, hey, here's some Reese's, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And then I just like started eating them as I was playing, as I was looking for like the next guy that had the egg, and he was like, oh, I have the egg that you didn't know the whole time, and I was like, I would have. Then like I started shaking, like at the point of the game where it's like, oh, you can't go back, this is the point of no return, you can't go back, do you want to save? Are you sure you want to go through the door? I remember my hand physically shaking with the stylus because I was like, this is it. This is it. It's over. It's gonna be over. I'm fine. It's gonna be over. And I remember just for the entire final act, like the final 5 hours of the game, I was just nervous and scared because that's when like they started like throwing the plot twist. They were like, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Hey, remember that thing that you didn't think mattered back in the first? Plot twist. Because that's how it was pretty much the entire time. But yeah, there was this one plot twist. I'm not going to spoil it because it was the biggest plot twist for me in anything. Like any movie, any TV series, anything. It was the biggest plot twist ever. Because most of the time you can kind of like, you kind of see a plot twist coming. You're like, okay, either it's gonna go this way or that way. Let's find out which way it goes. And then that's the plot twist. But for this one plot twist, I didn't see it coming. I was so blindsided that I started like screaming when it happened in my room. I was like, oh my gosh! And then my brother like came in and he's like, you okay? And I was like on my 3DS, I was like, I'm fine, go away. That's how big the Layton series means to me. And then I finished it at like 1 in the morning, Sunday morning, Saturday night. Yeah, I was just an emotional wreck. I cried, but then again, I cried all the end of the Layton games because that's pretty much how they are. They're sad. But then after the credits, something happened. And as soon as I figured out where it was going, which was like a few seconds, because I was like, are they going, oh, they're going to do it. They're doing the thing. And I started freaking out. And then the ending cutscene happened, and it was beautiful, and it's my favorite game of 2014. Thank you to Level 5, thank you to Nintendo for publishing it, thank you to Level 5 for making it, thank you to all the voice actors for doing a phenomenal job on all of their roles and stuff. Thank you to the puzzle designers because they were great. I wanna thank anyone that was a part of making this or any of the other games because it's phenomenal. I remember getting all the music. I have all the music, but I don't like listening to it because I feel like that'll kill it for me, because when I play the game or when I like every once in a while I might hear a track from it, I'm just like, oh, memories from that one spot, but I'm afraid that if I like listen to the music constantly on repeat, it'll lose its meaning to me, so that's why I'm not doing it. Yeah, I am a loser, and I am fully aware of that, and I'm fine with it. Professor Layton, Azran Legacy, happy birthday. I love this game. If you are thinking about playing this game before any of the other ones, don't. The entire final act won't mean anything to you other than, oh yeah, okay, that. But if you play the other games first, and you have to watch the movie as well, the final act will blow your mind. Anyway, I will see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to fade to black now. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.